Hello, welcome. I have been working on remaking a vocal song called Wait in Flames, and I finished it last year, but I was not happy with the mix because vocal mixing is not instinctive to me at all. There are so many puzzle pieces to fit together, and I was talking to someone about it who knows a lot more about mixing than I do, and he was curious enough about the idea that he offered to help me make a new mix of it. By the way, Greg, if you're watching, dziękuję bardzo. I hope that was close enough. So I thought it might be interesting to show you the early stages of mixing a song, and this is super simplified. It is not complete, it is not a tutorial, it's not meant to be. It's just showing you a little bit about how I would normally start out going about making a mix. So have fun. So for lyrics and the absolute bass melody, not even any chords, I do tend to write that out by hand just because my thought process can be really quick and frantic and I gotta write it down as soon as it occurs to me or else I lose it. But beyond that, I actually use two programs for this. To get a full coherent composition in front of me, I actually use this very ancient Finale. And beyond the basic layout of things, here is Dorico. This one is laid out very, very differently. I would actually compare it to the differences in computer operating systems. That is how different some of it is. So I use my Snowball mic in Audacity. I'm really basic and also kind of cheap. And it's just a matter of getting multiple takes until you have enough to glue together, and I do literally mean glue together. These 3 tracks here all go to one take. And a little of that is necessary because in this case, in this song, there are a few spots where the vocals are supposed to slightly overlap. So it is physically impossible to record all of that in one take anyway. But in my case, I can only record for little bits at a time, maybe an hour at most. Once you have some of these, you just try to sync them up to the main backing track that actually looks like sound. And yeah, you just go through, delete out the bits you really hate, keep the ones that might be okay. Usually in my case, my sense of timing is not great, so I have to manually, mechanically change the tempo a little bit, and that does take a lot of time and wiggling around and just doing it until you get it right. There are things like breathing spots. Deleting breaths out, that is sort of a contentious thing. Some people say keep them in there, it makes you sound more human. Some people say delete them out because it's extra noise. Generally my breaths sound pretty loud, so I have a tendency to delete them just to simplify things so I can tell what's going on if I'm playing multiple tracks at the same time. Now in this particular case, I don't have a lot to deal with beyond this because someone else is going to do most of the legwork. But once you have some of those and it seems to be pretty much synced up, then you can think about things like EQ. EQ can help a lot with if for some reason your voice is very breathy or you can't hear your consonants very well, and you can really bring out what's really there in a recording. Doing this would take the weight out of lower notes and probably also some syllables in words depending on how you sing. And adding to the top here increases the airspace, I guess. It adds some breathy noises. It adds onto your S sounds if for some reason your mic doesn't pick up on those a lot. Compression is a form of amplification. Regular amplification just makes everything louder. Compression you can control within reason, certain frequencies, and if you do it right, it's another thing you can really bring out the life in something and pick up on details you would not notice otherwise.